for Huddersfield this season. Only 28 goals. Your top scorer, Jordan Rhodes, and 6 goals. Danny Ward and 3 goals, and the rest only 2 goals and 1 goal apiece. Must be worrying to come into the club and you don't have a striker that's on 10 goals or anything.
Yeah, Jim. Well, let me just say this to you, Jim. You know more about them than me. I only started today, so I don't look back. But thank you for the stats. We will be doing our utmost to score goals and find a way. You know that the saying, I don't know whether I can say that. No, I better not say that. Wouldn't score in a... No, I better not say that.
And I suppose, Neil, when you look at Huddersfield, and you've mentioned you've observed the last 2 games, and the 4-3-3 and the 3-4-2-1, is it a bit more going back to basics, so good old 4-4-2, get a more solid, rigorous structure in the midfield, maybe protect that defence a bit more?
I think what you have to do in management, which I've had to do since I started, is try and find a system to suit the players you've got. I don't think a manager can go in and say, I'm going to play this way or that way or this way, you know. I think you have to look around and come up with a solution where you can try and win games. And that's what I've got to do. You know, we are limited at the moment, centre halves wise, but you know, we've got to come up with some sort of plan against Birmingham, one at a time, really now.
And Neil, do you look at the fixtures and look at maybe 3 or 4 games and set a target in terms of what you would like to achieve, and maybe in terms of points? And do you look at maybe the next 5 games and say, look, if we could take maybe 6-7 points out of those next 5 games? Did you break it up like that in terms of targets and objectives when you're coming into so late in the season?
First of all, Jim, we've got to try and win a game. We haven't won a game this year. So I don't look at, you know, yes, 6 wins should do it, shouldn't it? But I don't look at that. I think, where's the next win coming from? You know, but it was the same when I went in at Middlesbrough. We couldn't see many wins there, and we ended up beating a couple of teams away from home, which kept us up. So you've just got to, you don't know in the championship, you can, some strange results, you know, you haven't got to worry about who you're playing. You've just got to worry about your own team.
And Neil, you mentioned there about trying to drag Stoke City and Birmingham back into this sort of relegation dogfight. When you look at it there, Rotterdam on 33, and then there's a bit of a gap there to Stoke on 37. Is it really that Stoke, maybe if they grab 1 or 2 more wins, that they'll sort of push out to that sort of relegation? Is there really 5 or 6 teams that are in it at the moment?
Yeah, the 50 point, we've always said 50 points since the 3 points for a win came up. And I think now what they're saying now is the last few years, it's been like 47, 48 where they've been safe. So I'm not really one that says I want to do this, or, you know, looking at the next few games and wanting that many points. I just, you know, I want to get as many points as I can, as soon as I can. So you know, I don't look, I know some managers do plan pockets of 3 or 4 games at a time and what have you, but I don't really see that. You know, they have thrown some points away in the last few weeks, and I watched the Blackpool game as well, and really, you know, that was I don't know how they didn't win that game, but they didn't win it. So we've got to get over the first hurdle first and win a game.
And Neil, finally, when you do achieve your target with Huddersfield, you mentioned international football, and obviously here in Ireland we could do with a manager of your experience. The things aren't going to plan under Stephen Kenny at the moment. Would you consider maybe walking down the touchline of the Lansdowne Road, Allianz Arena in the future, managing the boys in green and take them back to a big tournament? We haven't been there in a long while.
I think Warnock is an Irish descendant, you know, my name. All right, so but I won't. When people are in jobs, you shouldn't talk about that. But yeah, I think an international job. I've always thought, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, get together. I might struggle a little bit with your accent, Jim, a little bit, but with my hearing aid, I'll put my hearing aid in. But you know, you never know what's around the corner, do you? But first things first, 15 games here yet.
Neil, best of luck.